G'day friends and welcome to my channel. This month I am actually a guest designer for Paper Rose Studio, and this is the card I've created using the Joy to the World collection. Now I will say it's a lovely collection. I didn't really want to chop into it actually, but that always happens. But then I've got to remember that you can always buy new stuff. So Paper Rose always does, always has 2 packs of paper to their collections, a basics and just the standard. So this is the basics that I played with. I've used paper from both collections. Look at that, just stunning. And it is double-sided. It's gorgeous. And you do get 3 sheets of each, look at that, of each piece. Oops. Oh. Have we seen that one? I think we did. Yep. Okay, so that is the basics. And then we have the standard one. They complement each other. That's probably that one. Look at that, just beautiful. You could use this for a mail card the other side too. There are cut aparts in this collection, or in this pack. That'd be nice for a mail card as well, even that. Just beautiful. There's more cut aparts and there's more, all different sizes. Look at that. So you don't have to use this. You could always use the opposite side for other occasions. Look at that. That's what I've used on the front of my card, but I'll go through it with you in a minute. Okay, and there are die cuts. Now, I don't know what I've done with the die cuts. I just have them here. But if you could see my desk, you'd understand what happened. Here, no, yep, here they are. So these are the embossed die cuts. I have used some. Just beautiful. And that's that. Okay, and I think there is a pack of, a second pack of die cuts as well, but I don't have those. So this is the card that I created. I've fussy cut a second piece of this paper and just around the manger and a couple of the animal, the camel and the sheep. The angel is a embossed die cut, and this Merry Christmas is from the crisp Christmas sentiment sheets. There's stacks and stacks and stacks of different sentiments. Beautiful. Okay, and I have added ribbon to the bottom just so that it would hold together. You don't have to if you don't want to, or you could use a magnet, but I've just done that. Okay, and I have added a little bit of the clear crystal mix from Paper Rose as well. These are beautiful, these. Open it up, and that's what we've got inside. It's a step card. I don't know what you call them, but I've just used it. It's a set of pop-up card. And then I put a small piece of, laid a small piece of basic white smooth onto Midnight Navy to write your message. Okay, so I'm not actually going to create the card, but I am going to show you how I created the steps. Okie dokie. So we'll just crack on. Now I have got a base card, and I have got 3 pieces of basic white smooth cardstock, and that is paper rose as well. So this piece is actually, I think it's 4 1/4 by 3, and I've already scored this at 1/4 inch on the short side, 1/4 inch, 1 1/2, and 2 3/4, and that gives us 3 score lines. Okay, so while we've got this piece, we will go along and we will burnish along our scored lines. I always do both sides. To mark on that, but that doesn't matter, we're not going to see that. And we'll do the one in the middle, making sure it's nice and straight on both sides, eh? Just like that. And again, I'll do the other side. Now with these 3 scored lines, this area and this area are the same size. Okie dokie. So that's done. Then we will grab our second piece, and again I've cut this at 3 3/4 by, I think it should be 2 3/4, yeah. Scored it at 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch, 1 1/4 I think it is, or 1 1/2, sorry. I think it should be, this should be 1 1/4. So let's come in and fix that up, eh? I'm just going to go down the middle of that score line, just to try and erase it a bit. Okay, so we've got 1/4 inch. Now we're scoring on the short side again. 1/4 inch, 1 1/4, 1/4 inch, 1 1/4, and 2 1/2. Okay, and that gives us 3 score lines. You will notice that the panels, you'll have one panel that is larger than the other. When I say panels, I mean from here, there to there, from there to there. Okie dokie. And we're going to score down that 1 1/4. Just like that. I'm sure that's right. Yeah. Okie dokie. So that's number 2. Then we come to our last piece. So that's 3 3/4. This should be 3 1/4. I've gone down about 1/2 inch, but you could do the width as whatever suits you. Okay, so it's 3 1/4 by 2 1/2. Okie dokie. Again, we're going to score at 1/4 inch, 1 1/2, and 2 1/4. So from there to there is 1 1/4 inches, and from that score line to this score line, it's only about 3/4 inch. Okay, and that's how we want it. Grab our bone folder and burnish along all those scored lines. Now on both sides, because you want these scored lines really nice and sharp. Okay, just like that. Then we'll grab our next one and we'll burnish down those. Okie dokie. So we've done that. Now we can do the inside of our card. Before you go ahead, what you would do is decide on the paper you want and layer it onto a contrasting colour. Now you need to cut 2 pieces of the same cardstock and 2 pieces of the same paper. If you don't want to do that, you can just add pattern paper straight onto your cardstock. So I've just used 2 pieces on mine, just there and there, okay? It's the same. And I've just cut them 1/4 inch shorter than the card base. Then we'll grab the biggest piece of these 3 panels, and what we're going to do is layer this smack bang in the middle of our base card with that middle score line going along the center of our base card, okay? And then we are going to add glue to one of these smaller areas. You can use tape if you want to. Now I'm using glue, but I am using a little bit extra to what I normally do. Don't go too heavy-handed with your glue. You still want it to stick nicely, but you still want it to be adhered firmly. Okay, and I'm just going to burnish along that scored line of that glue to adhere it down. We are then going to turn it over, or turn it down, and add glue to our second. Whoops. To our second area. And we're just going to lay it flat and then just rub your finger back and forth and burnish along that line to help adhere it, eh? These 2 scored line, that scored line should match up with your scored line and your base card. Now, if you close your base card, I always just go over it just gently. I don't know why, it's just habit. And of course my base card's not cooked right. Make sure your base card's folded nicely before you do it. Yep, that's better. Okay. Once you lift that up, that is your first step. Now you can leave it like that if you want to, and you can just add your elements along your top bottom. Don't layer them past that bottom, okay? You can have them in line, but don't go past that bottom. So that's our first step. Then we're going to grab our next one. Now, remember I said one of them is, one of these panels between the scored lines is smaller than the other. The small side is going to go on the top, okie dokie. So we're going to do the bottom first. And I'm gonna come out, well, I'm going to go down as far, sort of putting it smack bang in the middle, on the top panel, about 1/4 inch from that scored line, okay? Just like that. Then we are going to add glue to this area once again. Okie dokie. Lay it down flat. Burnish along that area to help it adhere. And then that one is done. Each time your base card should fold nice and flat. And that's it there. Now they should be nice and straight. Okie dokie. If they're not nice and straight, it won't sit properly or as good as what you want it. Okie dokie. Again, you could leave it like that with the 2 steps, but we're going to do 3. So with our third one, again, we're adhering the part with that's the biggest area here, and we're going to center it about 1/4 inch, center it so that it's same distance either side, and about 1/4 inch from that scored line to the top, to the bottom of this panel. Okay, where's my then we're going to add this one. Now, as I mentioned, I'm not too sure what this is called, this fold, but I will have the measurements in the description below for you, and a link to my blog for the card. And that is it. That's all you have to do, and as you can see, those little steps are nice and straight. It's a pretty easy card when you look at it and take it down into pieces like this. Now, a little bit of advice: when you are adhering your die cuts, ephemera, whatever you may need, or whatever you're gluing to the inside, don't put such big pieces on that when you adhere it to this top one, they stick over the side. That's what you don't want. Okay, so we're just going to grab, what have I got here? Say for example the star. So I don't pop them up, I just stick them on. And you can just randomly arrange it. You can cascade it down these steps if you want to. But I've just done the star there so that when it closes, the star is not going to go over the top. Okay, you already know that it's not going to go over the top because it hasn't gone over the top of this. Okie dokie. So that is our card. Bring in this one again. So open that up, and all I did was just arrange and adhered the embossed die cuts of what I thought would look good. Okay, so I've done 4 along here, 3 along here, and 2 on the top. Okay, then to finish it all, this panel here, or this layer, is a 3x3 on Midnight Navy smooth cardstock. Then I layered 2 7/8 by 2 7/8 smooth white, basic white smooth cardstock, and adhered it to the inside of my card. Then I just put a little bit of a little embossed die cut there. If you don't want to do that, you are more than welcome to put it on the back of your card, just here. Now, to adhere my ribbon, I actually adhered it onto the front and the back of the base card and stuck it down with score tape, and really added a lot because I like my ribbon to be strong and I don't like it to pull out. Sometimes it's really easy. It will come out very easy. So I probably go overboard. Then I added my layers over the top of it. Okie dokie. And all you have to do then is tie your bow. The ribbon does help make it, does help to keep it closed, but you don't have to because it's been closed for so long now. It's basically sitting closed by itself now. So if you were to create it without the bow, put something heavy on it, let it sit there overnight, and it will open and close itself. Okie dokie. So I hope that's clear, but please click on the link below for all the information about this card, and the measurements for the basis of this card will be posted in the description below. Okay, thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, enjoy your day, eh? See ya. Hooray.